Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. Now, this is a subject I have talked about in the past, in fact, starting a few months ago, but it's now becoming very relevant and pertinent. And what we're talking about is the looting by the gangster ANC state of pension funds in South Africa under the guise of infrastructure development. Yeah, it's a load of BS. Remember what they did to that 500 billion rand that was supposed to support them through the lockdown? All that PPE stuff that went to mates, nothing was delivered. If it was delivered at about 10 times the retail price. Yeah, it's a scam. Let me just tell you what the scam is all about. Head of the Investment and Infrastructure Office in the Presidency, Accusations Ramagopa, told a webinar on infrastructure impact investing that the Eskom Pension and Provident Fund and other retirement funds were underrepresented in public projects and benefits existed to changing this. Ramagopa on Monday said President Cyril Ramaphosa's Economic Reconstruction and Recovery Plan placed great focus on investment in infrastructure, but more capital could still be unlocked for this investment. Ramagopa said the Investment and Infrastructure Office in the Presidency had 400 million rand for project planning and packaging, but this was insignificant because they've stolen all the money. He said these investment ambitions face challenges including underexposure of retirement funds to developmental impact investment, while the regulatory environment grapples with improving practices to optimize investment and protect funds. Ramagopa said, even in the situation where we receive generous allocations from the fiscus as a public sector, many entities do not spend at the right level. We are underspending on average by 33 billion rand, and the primary contributors are local government, provincial government, and state-owned enterprises. Ramagopa said South Africa was behind other nations when it came to private funds exposure to state-led infrastructure impact projects, with the asset allocation of the pension funds to private equities at 2.3% in South Africa, while the global average is 23%. Well, there's a good reason for that, and that's because pension funds do not trust this ANC government with good reason, because they steal, they loot, they are gangsters. Why would you invest your money into a bunch of gangsters who are going to steal your money? But this is what Ramagopa went on to say. A lot of the existing equity investment focus on infrastructure, but 80% of this is invested outside of the country. All the good projects that have been funded, and it is up to the public sector to replenish the investment pipeline. Ramagopa said gross fixed capital underspending meant the manufacturing and construction were penalized as they experienced contractions in growth during the pandemic, which caused a hemorrhage of jobs in the economy. He said, we need to put greater emphasis on the contribution of public-private partnerships. We need to raise the matrix of the PPP in infrastructure spend. We should target areas with a strong coefficient for growth and recovery. He said government also needed to get its house in order, as the financial skill capability of the state had been decimated over time, leading to government struggling to develop a strong pipeline for projects or a diverse set of investments for them. Chief Investment Officer of the EPPF, Ndabazinhle Mkhize, said unlocking retirement funds for impact investment gave participants the power to not only choose to invest in renewable energy, but to decide on the kind of renewable energy one would like to invest in. Economist and member of the Presidential Advisory Council, Thabi Leoka, said securing private sector investment was critical as the sectors that were currently driving economic growth are not the ones that should be. Look, Oka said, we don't have much fiscal space. Before 2008-2009 crisis, at least we had the fiscal space to help the economy. Because of this reduction in space, we have to tap into the private sector to get investment. Independent trustee and principal officer of various retirement funds, Jolly Mokorosi, said impact investments do serve the long-term interests of members as well as those of the public. Mokorosi said, we have to have parameters in place and risk objectives. We can't do it at the expense of long-term retirement for members. We can meet both objectives through impact investments. Bauman's Financial Services and Regulatory Practice leader, David Giral, said that the regulatory environment existed for retirement funds to enter the impact infrastructure investment space. Ramagorpa said ahead of the investment conference to be held on Tuesday and Wednesday, 55 projects worth 354 billion rand have so far attracted investor appetite. Well, if you want to put your money at risk, be my guest. I wouldn't be putting 1 cent into this scam. Please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video. Please share this video. And above all, please stay safe. Bye for now.